everybody. Hi, it's Becky from PowerToolsWithThread.com. That's my blog. I'm in the middle of a class right now, Certified Information Security Manager. Ooh. So we are on lunch and I've got lots of stuff I want to talk to you guys about. Moving all my books around for my class and everything. I got in a 20 spool thread stand. For you embroiderers, if you don't have one of these, you're going to want one. This one's, it's like $35 or something like that on Amazon. And the brand is Embroidex. See that? This, I have the 10 spool of these. And this thing is awesome. It's mostly it's a workflow thing. So, you know, when you're only doing, like, I'm going to do a video probably later this afternoon on how to put the snowball together. Well, snowball's only got 4 colors on it, maybe 5 max, no big deal. But if you have a design, like say you've got a pretty intricate design, when I was making the camera case with my little gnomes on it here from Urban Threads, this is, oh, I guess it had 13, 14, 15 colors in it. You really need to spend the time getting your whole workflow all done, and this thing is just great. I will link to it below. I really like it. They're fairly sturdy, but what it does is the pegs are numbered, okay? And so you go, there's my first color, second color, third color. So as you're going through your design, you just reach over and grab that thread and you know, tie it off and pull it through and get to going. You don't have to find the spool and, you know, did it fall off the back, and it just really makes your whole life a whole lot easier. And it comes with little pegs and whatnot. I was going to actually put it together and show you guys what all it's got in it to put together. But one of the coolest things that it has in it that I really, really like is, this is a picture of what it looks like all put together. Okay. One of the coolest things that it has that I really like are these thread caps. Have you guys ever tried to buy these thread caps? Spool caps, okay? They're $5 a piece. That's crazy how much they want to charge for those things. And this has all different sizes and whatnot. But what's really neat is these are also the size of the peg for brother embroidery machines, brother or baby lock embroidery machines. It's the same diameter. Okay, pretty neat. The ones for the Janome, I'm not real sure. I'd have to check. Yeah, I didn't think so. I just tried to put this on my Janome serger. Is that a Janome? Yes, I just tried to put it on my Janome cover stitch, not the serger, the cover stitch, and it didn't fit. These are too small. But if you have a brother or baby lock machine, that's just an added bonus. You're gonna get, gosh, I don't know how many are in here. Maybe 20 more. Who knows? I love them. So it also comes, they have these, the picture that they show on Amazon has these little windmill looking things. These are a base if you're going to use cones of thread. If you don't use cones, like I don't use cones, don't worry about it. You don't need it. So they're handy to have, but they're not necessary. So I was going to do a little video of putting it all together, but now this is my second one. My one that takes 10 threads, I actually permanently glued it together, because if you pull up the top, the base will fall off, and I never take it apart, so I permanently glued it together, and I'll probably do that with this one too. You can use this with any kind of embroidery machine, any kind, okay? These caps, these spool caps go on the pegs. Where are they at? They go on these pegs that come with it, okay? And the whole thing sits behind the embroidery machine. And you just have to keep it out of the way so that as the hoop moves, it doesn't hit it. But it's wonderful. So just an added bonus is these caps also fit on the spindles, the thread little peg for, they fit, the diameter of this thread peg is the same as the diameter of the thread pegs in a brother or a baby lock machine. So you can have some extra spool caps if you need them. But yeah, if you guys are doing any kind of embroidery, you're going to want one of these, even as a beginner, because your skills are going to develop and you're going to want to do more and more designs with more and more thread colors. And so you would just not believe. I bet you it takes me a good hour from the beginning to get it all, what thread's going to go on what peg and what order and what color, because sometimes the colors they give you in the design, either I don't have or I don't like and all that. So anyway, something else for me to play with and put together. I had shown y'all a couple of weeks ago that if you join Pat Sloan's Facebook group, you get a free pattern called All My Stars. And some of you have even done this and put it together and shown it in our Facebook group, which is cool. I wanted to put it together too. Now this calls for 2 charm packs, or half a layer cake, or a Jolly Bar cut in half, you know, whatever. 2 packages of 5x5 squares. So one package is usually about 40 to 42, and then you need 2 packages of those. I was wandering around my sewing room staring, you know, doing what I call the COVID virus scare. I'm just like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And I came across, I think Missouri Star had one of their rare, you know, buy a charm pack for $1.95 and you can get 2 at this price. And it was for Adita Sitar's Royal Blue of Laundry Basket Quilts. This is the label that was around it, okay? It's by Andover Fabrics. This is just a gorgeous line. And usually what I normally do when I get those deals is I also buy some additional yardage. And I had picked up this piece. I got another yard of this, maybe 1.25 yards, I don't know what I got. And I normally do that because I have in my stash plenty of background whites or off whites or ivories, that kind of thing, maybe a gray. But I like to have an extra yard or so that I buy for a border, okay? Well, so I pulled out my Fons and Porter design wall and started throwing squares up there. So let me walk you through the method behind my madness. Somebody keeps texting me. I think it's my office. We have like 12 people on one text chat and they're all talking back and forth and who knows. So I gotta tell y'all, so I've got a lot of new subscribers. Hi, welcome, glad you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I give all kinds of tips and tricks for newbies and non-professional folks. We are all just here to quilt and embroider and have a good time. But anyway, so I'm not a trained quilter. Everything is self-taught. I learned every bit of it from YouTube, or I think I've been to 2 classes, 1 retreat, and I've been quilting for 10 years now. So I'm not real good at designing on my own. So I like to use a pattern, okay? And the majority of the fabric that I buy is pre-cuts, because a pre-cut, which is what is full behind me on the wall back here, okay? A pre-cut, you know, designers, fabric designers come out with, you know, anywhere from 5 to 10 to 12 fabrics in any particular given line. There are different, there's fancy names for these, but there's some prints are small, some are large, some read as neutrals, some read as solids, some are medium print, some, you know, I mean, there's all different kinds of things that go into making a quilt besides just throwing fabric together and hoping that it works. Well, I've done that, throw it together and hope that it works before, and you know, so a lot of times I don't like the end result, especially if I spend a lot of money on it. Then I'm real frustrated that it didn't come out right. So traditionally, I don't just wing it when it comes to making a quilt. So I will choose a pattern. But one of the things that I've learned to do over time is to study the pattern and really kind of analyze exactly what it is that it's doing. I am very left-brained, okay? I'm not creative. I'm real analytical in my thinking, and so creating does not come naturally to me. That is something that's very, very difficult. You know how left-handed people, they're very creative, and they just, you know, they can draw, and they got all these, you know, my mother's left-handed, and so I was raised with one of those people, and they think very, very differently than those of us that are not wired like that. But I really, really, really want to quilt. And so one of the things that I have taught myself to do, and this might help you if you're not of a creative bent, the way I'm not, okay, is I try to analyze the pattern. So if you look at this pattern, sorry it got wet, it's been on my table for a while. If you look here, this is Oh My Stars, right? So the stars are the focal point of the pattern. Your eyes are immediately drawn to the stars. And then it looks like there's a light, a dark, a light, a dark, a light, and then there's mediums. So here's the light, here's the medium, here's a dark. Generally, your pre-cuts will come with these, a light, a medium, and a dark. All right? So it looked like here they use light and darks. This looks like mediums and lights. This looks like mediums and darks. That's how I kind of analyze this thing, is the way I figured it out. So let me show you what I did. So I went ahead and first I sorted out my colors, lights, mediums, and darks. And then I tried to figure out and get them. This is not the way it started, okay? Once I got the light, mediums, darks, and the rows all done, then I started moving them around to make them work a little bit better. And because I had that additional yardage that I had purchased when I got the charm packs, I decided that that additional yardage was what I would use for the points on the stars, okay? And I kind of, when I first put it out, I put them cattywampus so that I could remember which ones were going to be. And then here I have holes. I have a hole here and a hole here. These are where the stars go according to this pattern. And I'm doing it like the pattern because I don't have any imagination. So I did all that up and I got it in when you're up close to it. And she says in the pattern, be aware of directional fabrics. Well, this fabric that I chose for the additional yardage is directional. So that additional yardage I bought is directional. Look, it's got little brown stems in it. Okay, and there's a definite direction to where the flowers go. All right, so to make my life even harder, I spent yesterday afternoon figuring out on these star points that they all needed to point the same direction regardless of where they were on the star. So that took me a while. So I was very proud of myself. I thought it was all very pretty. I also actually added in plain yardage right here that I had as an extra. So I've got one here, one here, one here, and one here. So everything was going great. I was very happy with it. It was very pretty. And then I took a picture of it with my phone and I stood back and I realized you cannot see this star. This star just kind of blends in with everything. It looks like a big dark spot when you get away from it. And this is a dark spot when you get away from it. So I said, well, that's not going to work. So this morning, I actually went out onto Fat Quarter Shop and ordered a yard of this. This is called their Royal Blue Lace. All right, so when it gets here, she said they're 11 days behind schedule because everybody's shopping online now. So this is going to be the star. So imagine now you'll see this, and these will be dark navy blue points all over, okay? And I will swap out the existing navy blue for the ones that are directional. And even better, this is not directional, so it doesn't matter how the points go. So, y'all, that's kind of just how I think. I mean, so, you know, some of you would have known right away, well, that's not going to work. That star won't look right and it'll blend right in. You know, I don't do that. I have to do it the hard way, and then stand there and look at it and go, do I like that? And this is one of those situations where this is going to be beautiful regardless of what I do to it. I think it'll be beautiful, but I think it could be better, okay? And that wasn't a skill that I learned until, oh gosh, I've been doing this. It's just in the last probably 2 or 3 years that I would stop and go, I don't know about that, okay? And if that got that little niggle of doubt, this is, hey, that's why I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, how could it be better? I literally woke up in the middle of the night last night thinking, I need to get this navy blue. I wonder if I can find it. Well, Fat Quarter Shop had it, so. Anyway, yeah, and then when all is said and done, this plain white right here will be the first outside border, okay? And then I will use this fabric right here, and I don't care if it's directional or not, I will use this to go ahead and make an outer border of this thing. And then I ordered 4 yards. I have these pinned because I'm fixing to take this down. I don't want them flying everywhere. I ordered, no, it wasn't this. This was my first choice. I ordered 4 yards of this fabric right here. See that? I ordered 4 yards of that fabric right there for the backing. Why did I choose this fabric for the backing? Well, yes, it's directional. I don't care. And I will make sure when I do my pieces together that the direction is all the same. This is something that I've learned as well. You want a busy back. I want a busy back. Because sometimes the quilting goes wonky. Sometimes you get little thread nests. Sometimes you just have oopsies that occur when you're doing the final quilting process. And if you have a busy back, you're not going to see it, or you're not going to see it as badly. If you have a plain, like if you use a plain sheet for a backing, which I have done, every little knot, every little hiccup, every little everything, you're going to see it, regardless of what color it is, unless it's like black and you're using black thread. But if you, this, you're not going to see it. Any little oopsies at all, a skip stitch, any little thing that happens. Maybe, you know, as I'm using the robotics, maybe it doesn't make the circle or whatever design I finally choose absolutely perfect. You're not going to see that in this busy backing. So to me, that's really important. I originally considered this one, and then I considered this one, but I finally went with this one, and the color is grayish, G-R-I-E-G-E, something like that. Anyway, I chose that. And I think that'll be beautiful. And then I have enough of the navy blue that I will use for a border. So that's kind of my quilt theory, how I think about things, how it works. This is still an evolving process for me. This is still something that is a challenge for me, and I really enjoy it, but it's not intuitive for me at all. Those of you where you can just look at something and go, oh, that'll look great with that, and this will be nice, and blah, blah, blah. I envy you guys, because that is not me. It's kind of where I'm at with that. Okay, and the last thing I was working on, I did this yesterday. We're not back from lunch yet, so I can still go. My mom lives in Tennessee, and she has a dear friend that lives in Wisconsin. And her friend is 78, on dialysis, and because of her age, she's way down on the list. She needs a kidney transplant. She's way down on the list. And so, you know, and the lady is always sending my mom my mom's a cat lady. She has, I think she's down to 4. She likes cats. So the lady's always sending her things, with, you know, cat things for her birthday and Christmas and whatnot. And my mom wanted to send her something, but she doesn't know anything about her house or her likes or dislikes. She doesn't have anything. She never married. She never had any children. And so she doesn't know what, you know, what her like hobbies are or interests or anything like that. And so she woke up the other morning and had this thing. She wanted me to send, she asked me if I could make this pillow cover. Lady's name is Sandra Scott, World's Greatest BFF. So this was my first attempt at this. I put it together using Embrilliance, and I'd have to look to see exactly what the font is. And it's stitched out okay. I had some little snags in the back there. But I'm gonna redo this. I'm not happy with the way, see how there's a big gap here between the B and the F, and this is just, it's all just too stretched out. And that is a thing that happens if you ever get into using software to do lettering. The lettering doesn't, I think it's called kerning, it's K-E-R-N-I-N-G. Kerning is where the letters know how close to fit to one another. It's not a standard size all the way around, and that happens in word processing programs. So the kerning is good in word processing programs because it's programmed like that. Kerning is not set up as an automatic thing in embroidery programs. So kind of keep that in mind when you're going to do any lettering in embroidery, like on worlds right here. I would bump this S over 1 or 2, just a little bit. Don't just think that it's just going to automatically come out. An embroidery program is not a word processing program, so that's kind of something that just to keep in mind when you're doing your embroidery. And then the flowers, the little greenery with the flowers, that is inside the Brother Luminaire. So that's it. I guess it's going to be about 2 weeks until I get all of my fabric now that I need for Oh My Stars. And I will get that together and show you guys when it gets done. And later on in a few minutes here, I'm going to go ahead and shoot how to make that snowball and finish up that video series. And I think that's it for right now. That's a lot going on. Plus I got to get back to class. We'll talk to you soon. Go sew something. Bye.